Hello everybody, my name is Ratnos, and welcome to another quick look at something coming in 9.1, part of a little series I'm doing of a bunch of short videos looking at some new stuff that's happening in the patch. These will be both summary and analysis of the new changes, and this one will be focused on Torghast. So here's what's happening in Torghast in 9.1. They are moving from the pass-fail system of Torghast that we have right now to a score-based one, which you may be having a little bit of flashback because, of course, the previous video I made about 9.1 is about Mythic Plus score being added to the game, but they're also adding score to Torghast. And the rationale here from Ian was, what if we had more of a rating or score, more of a spectrum, a continuum of success and trying to do better, trying to be more efficient, trying to be faster or have fewer deaths, but you have some reward to show for it. And you're never leaving empty-handed, which is something that could happen. It is pretty disheartening when that did happen, if you had some like character that was pretty bad or you got some bad powers, and you ended up having a run get bricked on like floor 5, floor 17 of Twisting Cord or something like that. It was really disheartening if that happened. And so because of that, Blizzard ended up nerfing Torghast quite a bit over this patch. But if it's more of a continuum, they could end up having that difficulty go back up a bit, right? Because you're still walking out of here with something. There's also been a bunch of stuff that's been data mined about ways that score will interact with the gameplay. Cool thing that I like about this is multiplier timer. So maybe there'll be some like kill streak thing that you're trying to keep going to keep a multiplier high for score, like there is in some other, action games or whatever. I like the idea of this. I would really love for Torghast to go away from the anti-AFK mechanics that are punishing and move towards ones that are instead rewarding for like playing focused. Because I would still like for there to be the option to do Torghast while I'm cooking my food and, AFK for 2 minutes to go get my food. But I'm fine with getting more rewards for doing the hyper focus run. I just hate walking back and finding my character dead to stupid dogs that spawned because I was out of combat. Anyways, a little bit of a rant there. So this thing about Torghast, my take on this is good, provided it is done correctly. There's a kind of nightmare universe where you could imagine that like creating your good legendary was doable only if you had like a 98th percentile Torghast run that week, and otherwise you needed to do it over 2 weeks instead. And I think that would be a pretty big thing to avoid. So I think a better system in general would be to make it such that like you could either do 2 good Torghast runs, or 1 like turbo insane world first run, or 3 okay runs, or 4 mediocre runs, and whatever. Any set like that gets you enough Soul Ash or whatever to craft your legendary. I think that's an important thing for them to land on, is to make sure that you're not like maybe your reward for doing a really good run is that you save not having to do another run, not that you have like 1 attempt per week. And it's because that really amps up the pressure on a game mode that I don't think would hold up all that well under that kind of pressure. But another piece of news about Torghast is that it's possible that that's not actually going to be particularly relevant for legendary upgrading next patch. So here's another piece of news from Wowhead, is that right now on PTR, it looks like you don't need Soul Ash for ranks 5 and 6. So you still need the Soul Ash from Torghast to make the legendary up to rank 4, and it's likely that you will want to create 1 or 2 or several new legendaries next patch, so you'll probably still be interested in some Soul Ash, because there's new legendaries coming about. I'll have a video about that too on this channel soon. Or maybe you just, there's some cool Sylvanas cloak you want, and now your legendary that you crafted in your cloak slot, you should move to your helmet or whatever. So you're still going to want Soul Ash potentially for that, but the upgrades themselves not costing Soul Ash might mean that, even if they did make Torghast more of a system where the amount of Soul Ash you got per week was not fixed, it could still be okay, could still be fine. Because it looks like the way you're going to upgrade legendaries now is with crafting items that come from so the crafters have to collect something that you get from Maw dailies and a bunch of other stuff to make a thing that they can then use to make the high item level bases. So those high item level bases, the 250s, the 260s, might be extremely expensive. We'll see. My guess is that my guess is they will be quite expensive over the first couple weeks. But I think it would be a good move to make it such that, next patch you're getting more Soul Ash, and you also need the Soul Ash less than you do right now. Because right now I would say Soul Ash is not a system that is doing all that well over the long term. I think it was a system that could have really used a nice automatic catch-up mechanic coming in over time, and it didn't really get one of those. It's basically the same system we've had since the third week of the expansion, once the last layers of Torghast opened up. And so a new alt that's looking to make, a new alt making one legendary is a month-long process. And if you're trying to create a new character, and heaven forbid you want like 2 or 3 different legendaries on it, which a lot of characters do, you're in for a tremendously long Torghast grind compared to the other stuff in patch 9.0. So this system may promise, it has some hints of being more favorable on those fronts, and it has some hints of potentially Torghast not being something that's super important in the same way that it is right now. If Soul Ash stops being this power currency once, in the way that it was this patch, right, to craft your legendaries the first time. So anyways, that's what's happening with Torghast. That's the news on that front. Let me know what you think in the comments below about the system. Come check out my stream, twitch.tv/Dratnos. Hit like and subscribe and stuff. Retweet, I guess there's not Twitter, but retweet some of my tweets at random. Thanks everyone for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.